Good morning. Ready to start day 11. As you can see, I have a new piece of gear on. It's my bug net. Glad I brought it. I camped just inside the Holy Cross Wilderness boundary, and all the comments in Far Out say that the mosquitoes are terrible in the Holy Cross Wilderness, and I can vouch for that. They are awful. I almost didn't bring this bug net. I used to think there weren't any bugs out west. The campsite's really nice. It's this huge meadow area with really nice views over that way and also this way. There is a site back in the trees, but the mosquitoes seemed even worse back there. So I camped out here in the meadow. My tent is soaked with condensation this morning, and maybe that's because I camped in the meadow. I don't know. Maybe it's better under the trees, but it's an excellent spot. So it's about 7 o'clock. I'm going to start walking, heading towards Twin Lakes. I won't get there today. Well, I just did a steep climb first thing in the morning, 500 or 600 feet. And I'll tell you, it warmed me right up. It was really kind of cold even when I left camp, but that climb really warmed me right up. And it reminded me a lot of the climbs in New England. A lot of rocks, roots, mud, very steep and exhausting. But it's just a beautiful spot here. A great place to take a rest. Good afternoon. Had 2 or 3 very tough climbs today, and I just entered the Mount Massive Wilderness a few minutes ago. It's about 2:30, and I've gone about 10 miles, which isn't that much for that amount of time, but those climbs were tough and they took a lot of time. I'd like to go about 6 more miles, but it's gotten really cloudy, a lot of thunder, and I could see rain in the distance from one of the overlooks. I'm just going to keep walking as long as I can, see how it goes. So I found my campsite for the night. The rain never really materialized. It started raining a little bit. I put my poncho on, rained for like 10 minutes, and then that was it. So I kept on walking. I did about 17.2 miles, 3,700 feet of elevation gain. And this is a nice site. It's right off the trail, right near South Willow Creek. I can hear it. There's water nearby. I like the white noise. So I'm going to camp here tonight. This is home. Good morning. Day 12. So I'm getting pretty close to Twin Lakes. It's about 11 miles from here. But I'm also close to Mount Elbert, and I think I'm going to try the climb up Mount Elbert today. I'm kind of nervous about that. I know it's a difficult climb, but when am I ever going to be this close to climbing Colorado's high point again? So I'm going to give it a try. It's like 4 miles off the trail. I think it climbs 3,900 feet, so it's a huge climb. I'm going to try it. We had a little rain last night around dinner time, a little more rain overnight. I had a great campsite at South Willow Creek. I was joined by another hiker, Gangster, who I hadn't met yet. Really good guy from North Carolina. He's hiked the whole AT. It was good to have some company at dinner time. I spent most of these nights alone. Out of the 11 nights I've been on trail, I've only been with other people 3 times, including last night. So heading towards the Mount Elbert trailhead now, and then I'm going to start the climb. 2.5 miles before I get to the trailhead for Mount Elbert. I think that's it. It looks big and it looks intimidating. I'm on the climb up to Mount Elbert. I'm at about 11,500 feet. So I decided to take out a lot of weight out of my pack and left it here. And I'll pick it up on the way down. It's a huge climb even from here. It's another 3,000 feet almost. I don't want to carry all that weight, so I took all my food, took out my sleeping bag, sleeping pad, clothes that I don't need, stove, all that stuff. So my pack's a lot lighter, and I'm going to go for it. Looks like a real tough climb up there. All right, I'm at 14,300, 140 feet left to go, and I can finally see the summit. That's it right there. So I'm on the second false summit right now. I knew these false summits were coming, so it wasn't too much of a tease, but that's the real summit up there. So I'm going to go up there now. So I made it up to the summit of Mount Elbert. It's difficult, but it's just spectacular. Look at this panorama of peaks. It took about 3 hours, maybe 3:15, something like that. It's a tough climb. And it looks like we have some rain coming in, I think. I'm looking towards Twin Lakes here. Definitely raining over in those mountains over there. I want to get below tree line before that rain comes. Well, so I made it down Mount Elbert without incident. I didn't totally escape the rain. Once I got back to the Colorado Trail, it started raining. It wasn't heavy, didn't last that long. I walked about a mile, found this campsite right near Box Creek. After I got here, the rain stopped, so I was able to set up my tent, get everything inside. It might rain again, I don't know. But this is a nice spot. This seems to be a good place to spend the night. And that's hail out there. Good morning. Got a little bit later start today. Left camp around 7:15. Everything's pretty wet from all the rain last night. I'm heading into Twin Lakes, hoping to get something good to eat there, and then I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to decide based on what the weather looks like. I wouldn't mind getting partway up Hope Pass and camping there, and then going up and over the pass tomorrow morning. But it depends on whether it's raining or not when I get to Twin Lakes. I've gone about 4 miles, getting close to Twin Lakes. There are the Twin Lakes down there. Not sure exactly where the town is, but I can smell the cheeseburgers cooking. Not really. All right, so I got into Twin Lakes about 10:30. Picked up my resupply at the general store. People are really nice there. And I bought some extra food I think I'll need. And then I had to make a decision as to whether to continue on Collegiate East or Collegiate West. The weather forecast is terrible. It calls for storms basically every day for the next at least 5 or 6 days. Forecast was for today was terrible, but it's 3:30 and we haven't had any real rain. So I don't know. Today it's much better than expected. Yesterday the storms were much worse than expected. I ran into Hodgepodge and Knee Deep, 2 hikers I had met several times previously. They were planning on doing West, but they changed their minds when they got to Twin Lakes and decided to do the Collegiate East because of the weather. I decided I'm going to start on the West and at least go up to Hope Pass. And then on the other side of Hope Pass at the bottom, there's a road. So if necessary, if I want to, I can cut over to the east at that point. I left Twin Lakes around 1, and I'm at mile 5.3 on Collegiate West. And there's a lot of really nice flat campsites here. But this is where I am for tonight, right here. Good morning. I just packed up, I'm ready to go. It's about 6:30. Got a 2-mile climb to Hope Pass. Before I go, I'm going to have my breakfast, which is a breakfast burrito, scrambled egg and bacon burrito that I packed out from the Twin Lakes General Store. And I think it'll be the best breakfast I've had so far. So let's check it out. Yeah, it's delicious. So much better than my usual granola, sunflower seeds, and powdered milk. I wish I could have one of these every day. Okay, it's been a tough climb. I'm getting up to tree line. The sun's finally coming up. It's freezing cold this morning. I hope that's not Hope Pass because that looks like a really tough climb. I don't see a trail there. I think maybe it's hidden behind these trees here. I think I found Hope Pass. It's right up there, I believe. I have to go around that bump right there, and I can see a trail zigzagging up there. So that must be where Hope Pass is. Hope Pass. Made it. That is one tough climb. Wow. Look at this. Just beautiful. Oh, I gotta take a rest. That's Twin Lakes way down there. This is the way I came up. Then here's the can that marks Hope Pass. And the view in this direction through the Collegiate West route is just spectacular. It's fantastic. Hello again. I'm down below Hope Pass now. And boy, it was spectacular up there. It was cold too. It was windy and cold. The descent off Hope Pass, it seemed just as difficult as the ascent. It was relentlessly steep and rocky, but the trail's better now. I get nice views of the mountains off to my left, and it's a nice forest to walk through. I think I'm going to try to camp at Lake Ann, which is just below Lake Ann Pass. I think I have another 1,800-foot climb. So it's about 12:30, and the weather in back of me here looks nice, but I'm heading this way, and it doesn't look good at all. I think it's raining up there. I wanted to go about 4 more miles, camp near Lake Ann. I don't know. I might look for a site sooner than that. So I'm continuing up a little higher. I'm hearing thunder. Don't see any lightning. The trail passes through a lot of open meadows, which I don't like. I feel safer in the trees. It's been a few raindrops, but nothing serious. So I'm going to keep going, try to find a sheltered campsite, and probably set up my tent at that point. So it's only about 15 minutes since my last recording. The weather looks a lot better. Not hearing thunder anymore. So I'm continuing a little higher. I know there's a campsite about a mile up. See what happens. Maybe it'll even clear up more and I can go even higher than that. I'm just about at Lake Ann. It's a beautiful spot. And I'm pretty sure that is Lake Ann Pass right up there with the snow cornice on top of it. So here's my campsite for the night. And it's a beautiful setting. I don't love the site. I'd rather have it be protected by trees, but there aren't any protected sites here. Look at these views. The lake is over that little hill right there. I'm going to walk over there. That's Blackbird down there. I just met him on the left and Gangster on the right. And there's the lake right there. That's Gangster over there. And we got Blackbird here. You guys eating dinner?
Sir,
I think I will. I'll come right down. Do you mind being on YouTube?
oh yeah.
I'm only going to do it if I have a successful hike.
Well, if you do it, send me the address.
I will.
We're back up there now. Oh yeah.
What, people up there?
Moving around pretty good. Like you can't decide whether he wants to come down or not. Probably trying to figure out where the trail is. Because if I came over the other way and you immediately come up with that corner, it's yours.
I would not want to go down that.
I don't know if I want to go up it.
I don't either. I didn't bring any micro spikes.
But from that photo, you know, that lower portion, that might all be melted out now.
It may be. Good morning, day 15. Sun's just coming up over the mountains, warming things up. The wind was awful last night, and the condensation on my tent and everybody's tents was just awful. So my tent weighs like 5 pounds now. I'm gonna have to dry it out once I get out in the sun. It's about 7. We start up the pass now, and hopefully the sun is softening up that cornice by the time I get up there. Blackbird's up there leading the way through this rock field, which is really tricky, and we're not sure we're on the trail. Just trying to find our way up there to get to the pass. The setting is just beautiful. Looking back down at the lake from up here. That's where I camped, in that big grassy area.
Oh, watch out there, buddy.
Okay. All right, Blackbird's getting ready to go up this cornice. Here's the cornice right here. We're gonna go up this left side. It looks pretty safe to us. All right, here he goes. The snow is pretty soft, which is good.
Mr. C going along the snowbank on the cornice. I feel good about the time we get off this overhanging snowbank. Way to go, bud. Way to go.
We made it.
Good job. Good job.
Blackbird and I successfully did Lake Ann Pass, and we're happy about that.
We got it. Yeah, we're happier on this side.
Yeah. I'm at the edge of the cornice here, almost the edge. I'm not going out any further. And there's Lake Ann down below, and the big grassy field where everybody camped. Okay, I'm coming down from Lake Ann Pass now. It's windy and cold up there, and I had to spend some time drying out my tent. It got soaked inside and out. And there's a lot of downhill, and you can see the trail right down there. That was an adventurous day. First, climbing up Lake Ann Pass with the snow cornice, which actually was easier than I expected. In the afternoon, clouds came in early, and then the rain came. That wasn't so much fun. I'm cooking dinner right now. I'm having ramen noodles with peanut sauce and red pepper flakes. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, it rained on and off most of the afternoon. Had to ford 2 streams, which were roaring because of all the rain. The sun just came out. It's 6:45. So yeah, that kind of a day. But it was a good hike, and I'm camped at about 11,700 feet, about 2 miles before Cottonwood Pass. It's kind of chilly. I'm just going to eat dinner, go right to bed, try to get up real early. I left camp around 6, which is early for me, because there's a long stretch at 12,000 feet with no cover, and I want to get over as much of that as possible before the afternoon storms. I think once I get to that section, there shouldn't be much climbing, but it is a long exposed section, so a little nervous about that. The sun's coming up. You can probably see it in the background there. Looks like a nice day, but there are more clouds in the sky than usual. I hope that doesn't mean more storms than usual. I'm up on Cottonwood Pass peak, 12,532, I think. Pretty awesome. These guys are riding bikes up this trail. don't even see how that's possible. They're doing it and they're also carrying on a conversation. Hello again. It's about 11:30 and I've gone out 12 miles. I need to do another 6 or 7 to get down to a safe place to camp. I'm at about 12,800 right now. I was thinking it might be relatively flat, just staying at 12,000. That was delusional because there's been 5 or 6 climbs of, I don't know, 500-600 feet, maybe more. So it adds up to, I'm sure it's over 3,000 feet of climbing. But it's absolutely beautiful. So much variety in the scenery. I've been really lucky with the weather. It rained just a tiny bit, and I haven't heard any thunder, and certainly haven't seen any lightning. So I'm going to head down. I don't know if I go this high again. I think it's downhill from here mostly. I hope it is. I was wrong about that last climb being the last one of the day. There was another exhausting climb, 600 feet. I'm back up at 12,800 again. There was some thunder, there was some more rain. Both have stopped. It's beautiful again, but I can definitely see ominous looking clouds and rain off to my left. And I think I should be heading down towards the forest now. Okay, as you can probably see, I'm back below tree line. There was a lot of thunder, and I could see a lot of rain off in the distance. A couple of really scary thunderbolts. So I hustled down those switchbacks as fast as I could to get into the trees, and it feels much safer here. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to end up tonight. How you doing?
What's up? Welcome.
I heard there was trail magic here.
I'm just setting up for you.
Wow, this is awesome. Good morning. Getting ready to leave my campsite. I came up to about mile 50.6 after that trail magic, which was great. Those guys were unbelievable. They had everything. So I stayed there for a couple of hours. And then some more hikers came, and they didn't have enough chairs for everybody, so I left, and I walked about another mile. And there aren't really any good campsites right off the trail here. So I climbed up into the woods and found this site. It's not very flat, but you know, I slept really well. So I'm actually getting a later start than usual. It's about 7:25. So we're going to get on the trail. I need a tea break this morning. It's about 1 o'clock. I'm down at Hancock Lakes right here. I'm going to be heading up to Chalk Creek Pass, or Chalk Pass, which I'm pretty sure is that gap right there. That's over 12,000 feet, and that's going to be a tough climb. I'm coming to Chalk Creek Pass, and you can see the Hancock Lakes and those mountains to the north. And I'm coming up to the top now, and this is the view to the south. And the weather doesn't look so great down there. It rained on me most of the way up, But the sun came back out now. It's windy and cold up here. I'm going to immediately get down below where hopefully the wind will subside a little bit. Beautiful place. All right, made it to my campsite. It's just a little bit off the trail. It's really not that great a site. I found it from the comments in Far Out. It's so rocky, I can't imagine anybody would camp here, but the comments said this flat sites for 3 or 4 tents. I don't see that. I found one site. It's back here in the trees a little bit. Right back here. This will work for me. Pretty flat, not bad. And it has some protection from trees, which I like. Tomorrow, my plan is to do about 9.5 miles to Monarch Pass. And then I mailed a resupply package to Monarch Spur RV Park. So I'll hitch a ride to the RV park, pick up my package. I think I'm going to try to stay the night there in the campground. Good morning. Gone about a mile and a half. The sun's just now breaking through the clouds. Should warm things up. I just filtered water at this beautiful, tiny alpine lake because the next 8 miles or so to Route 50 are dry, no water sources. And that's where I'm headed, down to Route 50. So I got about 8 more miles to go. I'd like to get there by noon and hitch over to Monarch Spur. It rained most of the night last night. It wasn't too heavy, but pretty consistent rain throughout the night. But it looks like it's going to be a nice day, although I do see a lot of clouds down to my right. So I don't know, we'll see. All right, I just did a brutally steep 1,600-foot climb up to the Continental Divide. Now there's a walk along the divide, which looks nice. It's a spectacular spot. I filtered water at that little lake, not that first one, but the second one behind that. Just a wild place, but boy, that climb was tough. And I see some horrible weather over that way. I hope it's not coming over here. Hello again. I'll tell you, this Collegiate West route is just amazing. Of course, there are a lot of tough climbs. But my understanding is the Collegiate East also has the tough climbs, but you don't get rewarded with this above tree line hiking and the views that you get up here. So if you're going to do the Colorado Trail, I would say try to do the Collegiate West, unless the weather forecast is just awful. And it wasn't great when I started the Collegiate West in Twin Lakes. Some people were opting to take the East for that reason, but the weather has been better than expected. There's been rain every day, but really not that much. And I mean, you just cannot beat this. It's amazing. I know I already used that adjective, but I can't think of any others.